I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com. Follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, that's right. I absolutely believe in you. You have the ability to get this done. We talked yesterday on episode 84 about how you can get this done. Welcome to episode 85 of Wise Advice. And I got some interesting stuff for you today. As you know, if you follow along on Facebook and or Connect, or depending on where you're following me from, even I think I put it on Instagram as well. I went for a run today. I got my PT test coming up, and by the end of August, I have to complete my test. So it's roughly 43 days or so from now, I have to complete a PT test. A goal of mine, besides for forever, my goal has been to pass this test. I'm confident now that I could pass this test 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter. You tell me when to go. I can run in the clothes that I'm wearing when you ask, and I can go pass the test. I'm even confident that I can get an excellent score on the test no matter what. But I want to get 100 on this test. 100 means I got to run a mile and a half in 9 minutes, 45 seconds. But just before that, I have to do about roughly 50 push-ups. I have to do roughly 60 sit-ups. And all of that combined, gives me a score of 100. Now, I can do the push-ups independently. I can do the sit-ups independently. And I went for a run today, and I decided to push a little harder than normal to see kind of where I would fall on the range. So after a mile and a half run, the first mile, I took off really fast. And I got into the point of it where I was running about maybe like a 6:30 mile or so. And then the first mile was good, and I just kind of ran out of steam. So I ended up with a 7:13 pace for a mile and a half of 11 minutes, which was a dang good run. I would have taken that any point in my career for sure, but it's certainly a minute and 15 seconds off of the pace of 9:45 that I need to complete. So it put me in this thought where I'm like, do I really want this 100? Do I need to get 100 on this PT? What does getting 100 on this test prove to me? And I got through, and I admitted it on Connect that I'm in a complacency mode right now. I'm very happy with my fitness level. Everything I've wanted to accomplish with my weight loss and with my fitness, I've accomplished, with the exception of this getting 100. And I started to evaluate, do I actually want 100 on this PT test? And, the work that I'm going to have to put in over the next 43 days to bring my mile and a half time down from 11 minutes down to 9 minutes and 45 seconds, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of focus. It's going to be a lot of discipline. And I think along the way, I'm going to want to try and see if I can really tone down a little bit. If I can drop 10 pounds, which I don't want to, but if I can drop about 10 pounds, that helps speed up the run time as well, as long as I keep the muscle going. So for me now to transition from this 11-minute mile and a half to a 9:45 is going to take some work. I'll admit it, it's hard, and I actually don't even think I can do it. And so it got me thinking, and it got you thinking as well, because when I put that on Connect, the responses, and put it on Facebook, the responses that I got were pretty interesting. And so I want to ask you this question. I want to say, what is it that you're thinking right now as you heard me explain that? As you heard me abandon my idea of a goal of getting 100 on my PT test, a goal that I've wanted for as long as I can remember, I've kind of given up on that. And so, if I don't get 100, if I get a 98, that's still pretty dang good, right? A 98 on my fitness test, I was getting 40s before. And so I'm getting a 98, which is phenomenal. So I ask you, what is it that you think when I say that? And if you look at the posts that I put out, every single one of you said, we believe in you. You can do it. If you want it, go get it. Go get it. Go after it. I believe you can do it. It takes focus. It takes discipline. That's all the same stuff I've been telling you about your weight loss journey. You're in a complacency mindset. You're in a complacency trap. And just like me, you're willing to give up on that goal of hitting goal because you feel good, because you look good. And right now you're like, do I want to put in that little bit more extra effort to get to goal? And that's exactly where I'm at. So I'm going to push forward. I'm going to give it my best because it's a goal that I've wanted for a long time, and I'm going to go get it. I'm going to see what happens. But when I get to that point where I take that test, here's what I'm going to do. The day that I take that test, if I don't get 100, I will immediately schedule another test. And I will request another test, at the next interval possible, which will be in a couple weeks. And I will go, and I will go, and I will go until I get it or die trying. Because it's that important to me. And it's not about the number. It's not about whether or not I can do it or not. It's about a feeling. It's a feeling for me to say that forever this thing has eluded me. Forever this thing has been on the back of my journey saying, 100 on a PT test, that's incredible work. That's hard work. No one does that. Well, that's right. No one loses 141 pounds and maintains it. Well, I got some news for you. A lot of people do. And so that's where my sights are set. And that's where I want you to understand. If you are thinking, as I was talking the story, that, man, I don't want to see him give up. Man, I want to see him get it. Man, I believe in him. If you are thinking all those things, why aren't you thinking them about your own journey? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Go get it done. You absolutely can get it done. Speaking of get it done, out of the gate, Jeff writes in out of Fargo, North Dakota. Jeff says, hello, FatDag. This is Jeff from Fargo, North Dakota. Just wanted to write to say that Weight Watchers has given me a second chance to live the life that I've always wanted. That up until now, I did not even think was possible. A year and a half ago, I was 294 pounds and depressed, eating at fast food places almost every night. And then later on in the evening, I would go to the gas station and get 4 or 5 candy bars, a bag of chips, beef jerky, with a 64-ounce bottle of brisk tea. This would have continued. I would have very easily been over 350 pounds in the weeks to come. On January 24th, 2016, I made the decision to change my life for the better. I remember walking into Weight Watchers for the first time. I remember sitting down after I completed the monthly pass and thinking to myself, is this program actually going to work? And will I actually be able to stick with it? Fast forward a year and a half later, and I'm happy to say I've reached the top of the mountain in a sense. I reached lifetime. I actually did it. It took focus, faith in the program, and determination to get it done, but I made it happen, which means everyone out there who is on Weight Watchers can accomplish it as well. I am so happy with how I feel and what I can do now that I could not have done a year and a half ago. Thank you, Mike, for this amazing podcast. You are inspiring so many people. I am so glad you take the time every day to give us all a forum to tell our stories. For me, it has been so healing to tell mine. Keep up the good fight, everyone. Thanks, Jeff, out of North Dakota. Jeff, dude, as you know, I am beyond proud of you. I have a couple things in your email that I circled and wrote notes on, and I want to kind of go through them in order. I applaud you for saying you wanted to write and say that Weight Watchers has given you a second chance, and that's not exactly true. Weight Watchers gave you some tools. You gave yourself a second chance by using the tools that are available. There is no single way to do this program. There are as many ways to lose weight as there are pounds to lose. But the fact that you understood that this was your destiny, you said in yourself, on January 24th, 2016, I made the decision. You made the decision to use some tools and stick with it. So the fact that you were sat in there and you sat in the room saying to yourself, will this program actually work? Will I be able to stick with it? That's extremely powerful for you to share that, Jeff, because what happens is all of us have that thought. When we walk into that meeting room, we're at the exact same place you are. We don't walk in because we were looking for something fun to do that evening. No one walks into the Weight Watchers meeting looking for a party. As a leader, I watch some people come into the meeting room And the first thing I want to do is I want to run up and give them a big hug and welcome them because I know where they're at. They're depressed just like you are, or were, absolutely were. And they're at the point where they're like, I don't know if this will work, but I'm willing to try anything, which is exactly what you did. So the fact that you now, Jeff, have taken a moment to write down your story and share it, that right there will reach somebody else who says, you know what? This guy did it. And if this guy did it, then I can do it. And that's exactly what you said as you end your email, that, that if you can do it, anyone can do it, which is why I always say, I believe in you. I believe in you because I did something that I didn't think was possible. And I'm not special by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a regular guy that works, I have a family, I have a house, I have jobs. I'm busy. You're busy. But we found a way to prioritize ourselves in this life, make the changes that were necessary, and it's an amazing feeling to reach lifetime. And I know you know that. When you hop on the scale and you like the way you look, you like the way you feel, you like what you did, man, it's absolutely an amazing feeling. So this is absolutely 100% possible. Congratulations on reaching lifetime. It's hard work. Most of us, just like me wanting to give up on my PT test, most of us give up before we get there. We stop short. We let complacency take over. But Jeff, you did not do that. You stayed focused all the way to the end. And your prize now is you get to live the rest of your life at a weight and a life that you're happy with. And the journey starts today. So Jeff, thank you for your email, man. Again, it is a complete honor to, I see you on my Facebook every night. We pop in, and it just, usually you're the first one in the forum. That's a testament to your dedication and your focus. And, it reinforces to me that you will be rocking this for a long time, inspiring people all over the world. So in the show notes, I'll put a link to Jeff's name on, to his username in the Weight Watcher Forum Connect. So you can go ahead and connect with Jeff out there as well. Next up is Lindsay out of Utah. Lindsay writes in, says, "Hi, Dag. I love the podcast, and I've been listening since the beginning. The other day, you asked for some lifetime members to email in, so here is my story. I wasn't really a chubby kid, but I come from a family of big eaters. I went on my first diet at about age 13. I lost weight, and I got a lot of good attention for it. I was a pretty active kid, but looking back, I think I probably overeaten my whole life. In my early 20s, I became a runner. In parts that I could eat whatever I wanted. I had my ups and my downs, but basically I maintained through exercise. I had a roommate who did Weight Watchers, and I thought it was absolutely crazy to pay someone to tell you how to eat. A few years passed, and I found myself a few pounds over where I wanted to be with some really bad eating habits. I joined, and I really liked the way the program helped me control the portions and balance my diet. I made lifetime pretty quickly. In the intervening years, I have been up and down, running many marathons, completed an Ironman, and struggled with food the entire time. I'm back at a lifetime goal now, but I think this time I'm really getting it. It is truly a lifetime journey. In my head, I have separated activity and the food. Now, no matter what my activity level, I track and I go for the blue dots. This has helped me lose 10 pounds since the end of February. The other day, I went to a cardio bar class, which was way out of my comfort zone. There is a reason my ballet career ended at age 5. Anyway, I did the class, and I'm happy to say that I liked how I looked in the mirror. I go weigh in almost every week, and I stay for the meeting if I can. The program helps me identify bad habits and what I can do to avoid getting into situations where I throw caution to the wind. I would tell anyone who is just starting to stick with it, find foods that you like to eat that help you stay on the program, and realize that you are going to have to change some habits if you want to have long-lasting results. Above all, be patient. It's not called lifetime for anything. So that email right there, actually it's not from Lindsay. I apologize. I forgot the name, but I'll put that in the show notes, and but we'll go through it. That's unfortunate there. But the email nonetheless is absolutely incredible. So to say that you like the way you looked in the mirror, which means you absolutely hit your goal. If you walk into a mirror and you see a reflection and you like that reflection, you're at goal. Doesn't matter what the number is on the scale. So when you talked about being a kid early on, and you said you were a pretty active kid, but looking back, you think you've been overeating your entire life. That's exactly it. Overeating, for many of us, it's a learned and or trained behavior. Think about it, if you look at often we can get some of our best advice from some of the youngest people on the planet. There will be kids all over the place. You hand them a donut, they'll eat the entire thing, and they'll leave just a tiny little bite on the plate, and you ask them, you want? No, I'm full. And they'll leave a bite or two on a plate. And we as adults say, well, you need to finish your plate. Or what we'll do is we'll reach over and grab it and finish the plate for them, which emphasizes to them that they should have left the plate empty. But they stopped eating because they were done eating. And so that's a trained behavior, and that's a learned behavior that we have to overcome as adults. So the meetings absolutely teach us that. The meeting room, I know there are many successful people who've done this entire thing online. There are many people who've lost weight without Weight Watchers. So it's not the meeting isn't the magic sauce 100%, but for me it was. And for many, it is as well. The meeting room, just as you say, the meeting room is a chance for me to sit there and kind of evaluate what's coming up this week, what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and how do I handle them? How do I prepare for them? There are situations where I just, usually just kind of take what I get when they show up. But now the meeting room gives me an opportunity to kind of take 1 second and go, you know what? I need to change some habits. I need to change some behavior. And I do want to stay at Lifetime because Lifetime for me feels so different. It feels so incredible. I am never, ever giving it back. So absolutely be patient. You have the rest of your life to do this. You can get it done. Thank you. Now we will get to Lindsay's email out of Utah. And Lindsay says, hi, Mike. Thank you for taking the time to do this podcast. I've been listening for a few weeks, and I'm working my way through the new and the old episodes. You say quite a bit that stepping on the scale for the last time in a weight loss mode is the best feeling. Well, when I was listening to episode 84, Goal Call, I actually had excitement, the excitement butterflies thinking about stepping on that scale for the last time. I felt like I was a kid on Christmas Eve. I can't remember the last time I was that excited about something in my life. I've hit my 10%, and I'm looking forward to stepping on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode. Thanks again, Lindsay. Well, Lindsay, absolutely. That is what I'm trying to convey. More than anything is when you reach goal, when you reach Lifetime, there is no comparison. It doesn't matter how wonderful your life was leading up to it. Something significant happens when you love the reflection you see in the mirror, when you love stepping on a scale and not wanting it to be any lower. You're well on your way. 10% is a significant accomplishment in your weight loss journey. At 10%, you've now demonstrated to yourself and to the world that we've given you a plan. You understood the plan. You've accepted the plan as part of your life. You've followed the plan. You've had some ups and some downs during the plan, but all along, you've continued working the plan, and you have hit a significant milestone along the plan. At this point, we don't give you new tools. We don't give you anything new. Nothing at all changes in the program for you. Not a single thing. So if you've hit 10%, continue doing what you're doing, and you can hit goal. You've proven you know how to do it. You've proven that you know how to do this. I want you to get it done. Congratulations on 10%. That's a significant deal. You ought to be super proud of yourself. And now imagine how proud you are right now. Times that times 100. That's what it feels like to get to goal. When you get there, let me know. Out of New London, New Hampshire, Julie writes in, says, I have recently discovered your podcast, and I'm finding myself starting every day with listening to your advice and your wisdom. I, like many others, am starting Weight Watchers for the 5th time. I'm still not sure if it's my last time yet. This is the fundamental part of my question. What advice do you have for people that continue to quit and restart to stop this pattern? Logically, I understand how to eat. I could probably teach someone how to eat better, but I'm having trouble applying it to my own life. This seems to be a pattern of mine. I become knowledgeable about a subject and I logically connect to it, but putting it into action into my own life is non-existent. Any advice or words of wisdom you can share? Julie out of, again, New London, New Hampshire. Julie, the absolute best advice I can ever give you on this plan. As you know, it took me 5 times as well to get to goal. And that's 5 times of actually starting in the meeting room. I don't even know how many times I attempted to do it online. It's significantly more than that. I walked into a meeting room 5 specific times to 5 different leaders saying, help me, I want to start over. The best advice I can give you is don't stop. Absolutely don't stop. Every time I stopped Weight Watchers, I had to rejoin at a higher weight. The reason I walked into the meeting room had never changed. It was the same reason every single time. So every time I walked in, that reason was the same, except for my starting weight every single time was higher. All stopping does is gives you a new start date. So first of all, number 1, don't stop. Now you're right. It's extremely easy, right? And I say that jokingly. Losing weight is very easy on paper. Losing weight as a formula, losing weight as a plan is beyond simple. Losing weight integrated into our lives, not so much. So eat less calories, burn more calories, eat less calories than you burn, and you'll lose weight. It's beyond simple. Now that doesn't say, what about, hey, there's a wedding coming up. Hey, there's a birthday party coming up. Hey, it's 4th of July. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. All those things don't really kind of enter in on the paper in the plan. So we have to adjust from. That's what we talked about just a second ago. The meeting room gives you that little bit of motivation ahead of time saying, hey, this weekend, here's what's coming up. This weekend, how would you prepare for this? So you absolutely have to don't stop the journey. Hold on to that feeling. You got to hold on to the feeling that I joined for a reason. I know why I joined. I talk about in this show all the time that you got to find your why. You've got to actually physically write it down. I'll share one other piece of advice for you. It's what I share with all of the new members who walk in, is I tell them my why, and I say you got to find your own. And what I want you to do with your why is I want you, no kidding, I want you to grab a piece of paper. I want you to grab a pen or a pencil. I want you to physically write out your story to yourself. Why did you walk into the meeting room? Why did you get there? When you put it to pen and paper, something in the creative process in your brain is a little more significant than sitting for 2 seconds and thinking about it. You're forced to dig a little deeper than you would, and you write it down. I don't want you to share it with anybody. What I want you to do is hang on to it. I want you to hang on to it in a sense where when you start losing 10 or 15 pounds, because we've proven the program works, at 10, 15 pounds down, you feel really good. Clothing sizes are now starting to change. Energy levels have picked up. And complacency sets in. We like where we're at. That is the point in your journey. You need to pick out your story. You need to read it because you need to know at this point, if you quit, that's what you get back. You get that story again. You get to add a sentence or 2 to that story. I don't want you to do that. So I want you to read it off. And now, just the opposite. You're going to hit roadblocks along the way. When you hit a roadblock and you say, I can't do this. This is too hard. I think I'm going to quit. I want you to again go back and read that story because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a new start date. You're going to get a new start date with the story you've just written. You're going to add a sentence to the bottom of it and say, this is my 6th time. I don't want you to do that. Now, I'll give you an analogy that I always also use is if you have a college degree, or if you have a high school diploma, did you ace every single test along the way? I didn't. I certainly didn't. So the test is the way in. The degree is lifetime. The diploma is lifetime. The test is your way in. You can fail a test or 2 along the way and still reach your goal. That's why you don't quit. You don't drop out of high school the first time you get a B- on a paper. You don't drop out of med school the first day you don't pass the very first test. You stick with it. It's absolutely a hard journey. There's no question about it. But when you quit, you have to start over from square one. So I want you to think of it in that perspective. And lastly, what I want you to do, I want you to take photos along the way. I want you to love yourself enough where you document the journey because you can't see a 10 or 15 pound weight loss in your mirror. Your mirror's been lying to you your whole life. You go into your bathroom mirror at the morning before you get ready for work or the evening when you get ready for bed and you brush your teeth. the first thing we do is we look at our hair, we look at our eyes, we look at our new wrinkles that have popped up in the day. We don't ever see our entire selves in our own mirror. You ever go to a department store? You ever walk through somewhere and you just catch a mirror that you weren't expecting and you look over and you say, who is that? Right? That's what you look like. I want you to love that side of you. And I want you to take photos because that's what you really look like is in a real photo. And so when you then lose 5, 10, 15 pounds, you pull up a before photo that you took 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, you compare it to the most recent photo, and you absolutely can see a 10 or 15 pound weight loss in a photo side-by-side comparison, but you can't see them in your bathroom mirror. So those are tools that I want you to use along the way to keep you motivated. I want you to keep going on your journey. You absolutely can get this done. So don't start over. You have been given the tools that work. You've heard in this podcast and in many other podcasts ahead of time, there are people who've had significant numbers that they've done. All of them did it by not quitting. Last up, PJ writes in out of Rapid City, South Dakota. She says, I am 59 years old. I'm a lifetime Weight Watcher. In the mid-80s, I was over 300 pounds. I've been trying to get to my goal, have an attractive figure forever. And after listening to your podcast, hearing you say that you believe in me, which made me cry because I haven't even believed in myself, and that you were my wingman, I've had the most motivated, determined, successful 4 days in a row. I am so determined that tonight we had T-bone steaks on the grill. I told my husband to cut off what he thought would be 3 ounces. He did. I weighed it. It came in at 4.5 ounces. He argued that I was being over the top with my measuring, and I said, no way. I'm doing it this time. Your encouragement has been so incredibly empowering. Thank you so much. You are so incredibly motivating for me. I'm a pro at beating myself up, and you're more of a pro at making me feel like I just might be okay. Well, PJ, you know why I believe in you? Right? You absolutely know why I believe in you. I believe in you because when I started this journey, I was in the exact same place you were. I didn't believe in myself. I was hoping to lose 20, 30 pounds. I was hoping just to barely save my career and get by. I knew the program worked in that sense. I didn't at all think I could get to goal. And the folks on Connect, the folks who supported my journey, they believed in me. They showed me that it was possible. Just like we've done all through this episode, we've showed you that it actually is possible. And so when you hear guys like Jeff who've lost 140 pounds and got to goal and maintained it, like last night you heard people who were at Lifetime for 5 years, they believe in you as well because they did it. So I believe in you because I know so many people who didn't believe in themselves who actually got it done. I now understand the part of this journey that every single person has the ability to do this. So that's why I believe you can do it, because I know, I'm confident every single person who wants to do this, every single person who said, tonight, I don't want 4.5 ounces of steak, I want 3 ounces of steak, someone who says that has the ability to get to goal. Because if you look at a 3-ounce steak versus a 4.5 ounce steak, you almost can't tell the difference on a plate. Your stomach almost can't tell the difference, with the exception of that's probably extra 2 points. We've talked about today that in other episodes, we've talked about where the difference between maintaining your weight and losing your weight is really just about 6 points a day. In some cases, it's significantly less. So if you would have had that 4.5 ounces, you can let your husband know this. If you would have had that 4.5 ounces and you do that consistently throughout your journey, then you're going to be in what we commonly see on Connect as a plateau. And in reality, it's not a plateau. It's just you're not working the program. Now, there is a legitimate term as a plateau. It absolutely does exist, but it's been misidentified so often in our community. And what the common term is someone who's not tracking, not following the plan, and they're having cheat days, cheat meals, and they refer to themselves as a plateau. I will give you credit for being on a plateau when you're following the plan 100% and not losing weight. That is your body adjusting. At that point, we need to figure out how to make some adjustments. But if you're not tracking, if you're eating 4.5 ounces versus 3 ounces consistently, if you're grabbing an extra bite here, an extra bite there, that's not a plateau. That is you not working the program. But you now are doing just the opposite. I believe you can do this. You believe you can do this. And you can be a pro at some self-love. If you get to the point where you now accept every single thing about you, you accept your entire journey for exactly what it is, you love where you are today, and you commit to making a change, and that commitment is that I'm going to continue weighing my steak, it's a practice I still do. My scale sits right next to the stove. I still weigh and measure everything. I still weigh and measure anything I eat for dinner if I'm eating at home, because it's that important for me to maintain this. I do not have the ability with my eyeballs to look at a piece of steak, and I can estimate portion size with the best of them, but I still get it wrong. And the more you estimate, the more the size increases. So great job on your commitment. The fact that you're just now starting this and you're absolutely committed means you can get it done. So PJ, thank you for your email. It's an honor to encourage you. I want to see you get to goal. There's nothing like stepping on the scale in the very last time in a weight loss mode. It is so incredibly different, and it's so incredibly exciting. I wish I could give you that feel. I wish I could give you a taste of it, because I guarantee you if you could taste it, you would get there. So you have to believe in me. You have to trust me that it's absolutely worth fighting for, and you got to go after it. You got to get it done. When you get there, it's an incredible celebration of self-love. It's an incredible celebration of an accomplishment. It's things that you have not done your entire life until now. So I want to know what you're celebrating. I want you to share it. I want you to go to FatDag.com. I want you to click on Listen Now. Send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations, because I absolutely want you to be proud of everything that you're doing. And just like you heard in Jeff's email, Jeff didn't believe the program would work. He wasn't sure if he could stick with it. And by us sharing our stories, we gave him that hope. And I want you to help us inspire others. This is an amazing community. Thank you for being here. But that is going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has absolutely nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.